Welcome to another edition of Local Hunt here on Channel I, where we bring you locally produced English music to you on our chart. As always, we have an exciting lineup for you, so stay tuned in. And also, a little bit of a surprise on today's show.
Now, as you can see, we walked out of the studio a little bit. We're a little comfortable, a little cozy. Somebody's invited us to their home, welcomed us very warmly, and we are very cozy and comfy, as you can see. We introduce to you our guest. Yes, we have a guest this week on the show. Very special person. He's been on a different show that we have hosted before, but not on this one. And we really want to have an interesting conversation with him. Lots to talk about, loads to go around. We will do all of that once we tell you about our lineup for this evening.
Yep, and let's check out all the songs here on our chart.
I try not to look in your eyes. They hypnotize me. I try to keep
back and see all the good you did and the you've been. Life ain't always a fairy tale. You will realize that you can fail. All the memories. Then the crowd sing hallelujah, hallelujah. She sounds a lot like you. Who can make me wanna scream out? Yes, I do. Not like you. Who can kiss and be?
Hello there. So welcome back. That is our lineup for the week. We have some very interesting artists, of course, on the show as always. And we're seated right next to a man with an absolutely beautiful golden voice. He also sounds a lot like Elvis. But he also has a wide range of music that he also brings to a show. You've got a show of him playing right behind him. Let's welcome on the show Mr. Janaka Palapathwala. Very, very good evening to you.
Very good evening to you, Inura.
Lovely to have you on the show, Janaka. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Really, really glad to be here.
Last time, I'm assuming you guys were sitting on a couch?
Yeah, we were sitting on a couch, very different colors, different setup inside the studio, right, Janaka?
Yeah, but today we feel home.
Yes, thank you for
You
having
feel
us
at
over.
home, I hope.
You can feel at home too. You can
All
feel
right.
at home too.
He has
So Janaka's-
graciously opened his home up for us.
Yeah,
We have to thank him for
absolutely.
that, being gracious host.
Absolutely.
My honor to have you. All you guys. It's my honor.
Absolute pleasure. You got like a lot of people right behind the scenes we don't really see.
I was stunned to see when you all walked in. My God. Lots of people coming. I thought 3 or 4 people. My God, what a crew. Doing something like that is not easy.
It's a home invasion. We might never leave. I find this sofa a little comfortable.
You can stay as long as you
He
want.
might leave.
I end up leaving.
There's a large possibility that might happen. People have told me I have a tendency of overstaying my welcome. Anyway, so
So
Janaka,
communicate with birds whenever you need us to leave.
so Janaka, what's new since we last met? Tell us a little bit of the story. Where have things gone? I remember we had very interesting conversation.
We did. Where to start, we talked a lot of things, and that time I was telling I'm going to do this. In fact, you asked about originals.
Yes.
I had no plans, but today I think 3 or 4 years have gone by. My God, lots of things have happened within this very short period.
So new originals are out, we know. There is a singular couple of originals, there's English originals. Tell us, where did the music come to you from? Let's tell everybody else, because there will be a lot of new people who are watching the show right now. Where does the music come to you from?
Yes, Inura, Owen, I was doing lots of cover songs, and I was confined to certain artists like Jim Reeves, Elvis, and but then I realized doing all the cover versions will take me to a certain point only. If I want to go further, I have to start my own things. But of course, I've never given up the cover versions, cover songs, but I mix up with lots of my originals.
So, Janaka, I'm just curious. When you started out, did you start with the covers or did you start with the originals?
I started with covers.
This was in your school, I'm assuming?
Well, of course, I've been singing from my school days, but I should say I got into real professional music in 2014. Prior to that, I was performing professional way, not amateur way, but I consider myself really professional since 2014. So then I started concerts, all cover songs,
Yeah.
but I've known as, by my will or not, I don't know, I was called Elvis, I was called Jim Reeves, but I realized I don't want anyone else's name, I need my name.
I see all these concert DVDs in your home. Your home is packed with them. I think you're a big fan of all the concerts and stuff. That's how you got into it, probably?
Yes, I've been listening to all these songs. I was a big time listener. I got whole heaps of records, LPs, CDs, DVDs. I got a store over there, like a library.
When did you start collecting, if I may ask?
Well, from the days I remember, from my teenage. So I got a huge collection. I love them. Actually, listening to them over and over again only led me to sing, very honestly. Of course, I've been singing in church, in school, wherever opportunities were given, I've been singing. But I thought, if they sing, why not me? If anyone can do if you want to. If you dream something, you can achieve it. So I thought, I haven't achieved like them, but I mean is, anyone can sing. You listen to it. I learn from them. I still learn a lot. I love singing.
If we were to say your inspiration comes from the likes of a Jim Reeves, the likes of an Elvis, are we correct to go that route?
Very correct. Very correct. Very correct.
So let's also talk about a lot of people. Like when you start your music career, I think you have, just apart from the music you listen to and the artists you listen to, there's also other people who influence your taste in music, the style of music you want to do, why you want to get into music. Do you have that kind of ecosystem around you? There's a few people you might think, this is the person who really got me onto the track of music.
Well, if I say who pushed me to music, it could be my family or my friends, or I myself, perhaps. Nobody would push you to a career like music, but I've decided, of course, I'm involved in others as well, but now my total focus is in music. I'm without, there's no Janaka without music, that's how I should say. That's the way I should put it.
So, 2014, it's a bit late, if I may say, a little bit late, to really start on your originals. What propelled you? What made you sit down and think, right, I'm going to transition now on, I'll move on and I'll do all my own originals?
In fact, in 2014, I started covers. Then it's about a year ago, when we met last time, I remember way back in 2015 or 2016, he asked me about originals. That time I had no idea whatsoever. Then last year, I realized going this way, not going anywhere.
But you were very successful with covers.
Yeah, actually, doing cover songs, you start from some elevation because those songs are already popular. People love to embrace. That's how I travel around the world, because people in those countries love these songs. So the start was easy with cover songs, I should say. Now I've done my originals, so I have to start from the scratch.
So Janaka, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit later after our first song of the day. Now this is the 5th song in our chart. Now this is something that we are doing consistently. We feature a lot of songs in our lineup, and these are locally produced English music coming your way. And the 5th song is coming from a very familiar face. It's coming from Iraj. This is I Can't Keep Lying.
This is Iraj. Don't know how to tell you this, but I can't keep it in. No more secrets. You run through my mind all day. Wonder if you feel the same. It's been killing me. I try not to look in your eyes. They hypnotize me. I try to keep it all inside, but I can't keep lying. I can't keep lying. I can't keep lying. I can't keep lying. Don't wanna hide it. Keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. I don't wanna ruin it. Whatever this is, but I can't stop thinking. Just one kiss and I might die, but it's worth it to me. I tried to keep it all inside, but I can't keep lying. I can't keep lying. I can't keep lying. I can't keep lying. It's so hard to hide it. I give up trying to keep on fighting. I think I should tell you how deep I am falling. 'Cause I can't keep lying. 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 Oh, that's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah. This is Iraj.
And that was Iraj with I Can't Keep Lying. And if you want to push that song up the chart, you know what to do. Go on our socials. Facebook, it's facebook.com/iLocalHunt. And in Instagram, it's Local Hunt Chart. Go on there, check out their songs, and of course, submit your own songs. That's
Yep.
what we say always, right?
Yep, of course you can submit your own songs on the show. All that is possible. And we're in conversation with Janaka. We've been talking some interesting stuff about getting into originals. And Janaka was telling us a little bit more about where the originals are coming from, what the whole story was behind coming up with these new originals from last year to now.
Yes, Inura. There are lots of originals that I've done so far. I've released about 3 so far, and these days in the verge of doing a visual for the second English original.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I've done 2 single originals,
Right?
just released through a television channel, and 1 English which are going to be played after the program. And these days, that song, I must say, that's Don't Tell Me It's Over. This song, composed and written by Terry Morris of Sydney, Australia. Then the song that I'm doing these days is written by Manna Peruma, Sudat Manna Peruma. He's from Brunei, multifaceted, multi-talented guy. He's written the song so nicely. And the music is directed by Nadika Guruge.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and that's about the Sigiriya Rock. We titled it Oh, the Lion's Rock. It's a little different to what you expect about the Lion's Rock. Beautiful meaning. And lots of songs that I'm doing. I've done something called Classic Days. He's talking about the good old days that we spent with the nature. The words are beautiful. And then there's a song called Destiny. He's talking to his own destiny. There's another song called Backpackers on the Moon. Different ideas, different tunes, different melodies, different paces of songs. So I expect, and the music for this by Manjula Bandar. So the recording has been a little delayed because this guy is doing a movie in India. Otherwise, by now, at least 5-6 originals are ready.
Janaka, I must ask you, what's your song producing process like? How do you get the idea for a song? How do you communicate that with the songwriters? How do you get with the producers? What's that whole process like? Because you have a couple of songs out right now.
Well, Levin, it's a very good question because some people ask when you look at the meaning, is it relevant to your life? Well, none of the songs are relevant to my life, but they're relevant to the writer. It's my duty to deliver the song according to songwriter's thought, his imagination at the time of writing the song. It's not only my duty, it's the duty of the music director to give that nourishment. So there are different meanings. They are directly not involved or relevant to my life, but I'm like an actor. I have to deliver the song. The song idea has come from, the idea is born in the mind of the songwriter.
Wind is blowing, all the lions roar. The lions will fear. I read history. Why should it repeat? Down in the alley, you were a mirror. Your bosom was bare. I didn't stay. Who were you, dear? Were you fine or a concubine, fetched with praise or snatched in haste? Who are you, dear? Rolling waves, sweeping breeze, lilies and bees, the woods are green. Did you fail to notice it's all peace here? Legions fall to make one legend. Drums and trumpets, a king and a queen, and a suffering nation. Did they ever care?
Oh, that's beautiful. When you really work with the songwriters, do you go and pick them personally, Janaka? Do you have a set of people that you would prefer to work with, you know you're comfortable with? Do you have that kind of relationship going with the songwriters, with your music directors, your instrumentalists? Tell us a little bit about that.
Very much, Unira. Because you cannot accept songs from everyone. So I select the songwriter by looking at his past records and his ability. And then I also very personally give a strong look at the music director. The instruments that he pick, the players that he pick, then even the studio player plays a big role. So all in all, lyrics, the music director, the instrument players, everyone matters.
It's a whole team that actually produces a song, right? And it's the vision that's realized by you, but it's the vision of many.
Very much.
Yes.
I mean, actually, the song does not belong to the singer alone. It's the effort of the vocalist, the lyricist, the music director, and each and every player, the sound engineer, the visual makers, the one who creates the story, the script. It's a long journey to release a song.
Janaka, I actually want to ask, when you said visual director, now of course producing songs is fine. Now these days, of course, a lot of the songs, like the ones we feature on our chart, have music videos to accompany them. And of course, that's a whole other process. It's a mini film on its own. So
Exactly.
what about that aspect right now?
That's a big challenge. Actually, the music is sound. That's for years. But now it has come to satisfy all your five senses.
It's audio visual. now.
Audio, visual, and also going to into many dimensions when you listen to the song.
It's something that we would define as a sensorial experience.
But it's a very tough job because those days people record the song and release it. Now the biggest stuff is how to do the visual. And you have to travel sometimes. 2-3 visuals that I've done already. None of them I've done in Sri Lanka. But of course, the Sigiriya one we are doing at the rock in the rocks of
Because
Sigiriya.
Sigiriya is in Sri
About
Lanka.
that. Others, all I've done overseas.
So perfect. We're going to talk a little bit about more of the music. We want to talk also because he's a brilliant live performer. We want to do a lot more of that. We'll talk about the live shows, the adrenaline, the nerves, the whole story that goes into it. And we are going to hand into our next song on the lineup right now on the local Hunt chart.
Yeah, it's going to be Don J coming your way right now as the fourth song and the second song of the day. Fourth song on our chart, second song of the day.
I don't know what will I be wearing on my wedding day. I've got no clue of where or when the celebration will take place. But when my friends ask me how I picture my future wife, I explain she's something like this. She will walk down the aisle like a tiny angel, a 5 foot perhaps, her perfect smile. I could even see it on Google Maps. Her innocent eyes, like Christmas stars, will guide my footsteps. This girl of my dreams, she sounds a lot like you. Who can make me wanna scream out, yes I do. Not like you. Who can kiss away all my pain and my blue. When God made you, who told himself, God damn I'm so good. Not like you. So baby, please make it true. No, she ain't the first, but she's the cut that's deepest. She's the one I trust to stay up all night to share my secrets. Mere thought of losing her can tear my heart into pieces. She's something like this. She will walk down the aisle like a tiny angel, a 5 foot perhaps, her perfect smile. I could even see it on Google Maps. Her innocent eyes, like Christmas stars, will guide my footsteps. This girl of my dreams, she sounds a lot like you. Who can make me wanna scream out, yes I do. Not like you. Who can kiss away all my pain and my blue. When God made you, who told himself, God damn I'm so good. Not like you. So baby, please make it true. Even anything's can't deny. Yeah, such a creation that's so fine. She's everything that's in my dream. I want for the rest of my life. Not like you. Who can make me wanna scream out, yes I do. Not like you. Who can kiss away all my pain and my pain. When God made you, who told himself, God damn I'm so good. Not like you. So baby, please make it true. Not like you. Who can make me wanna scream out, yes I do. Not like you. Who can kiss away all my pain and my pain. When God made you, who told himself, God damn I'm so good. Not like you.
All right, that was Don J with A Lot Like You on the Local Hunt chart. One more track that was added a couple of weeks ago on the show. We're glad to have him once again yet on the lineup in number 3. This is a little bit of shift. Is he on number 3 or number 4? We just played number 4.
That was number 4.
That was number 4. So he's on number 4. If you want him to
Inra is
be at
very
number 3.
interested in the conversation happening right now, so...
Yeah, you have to be at number 3 now next time, Don J. Okay? If you want to be there, you need to go on our social pages and tell us about it. You know where you want him to be. So we are talking to Janaka, of course. We were stopping mid-riff. We were going to go into conversation on the live stage, the performance, the adrenaline, and the rush. Tell us, every time that you get on stage, what does it feel like?
Well, I feel I'm right on top of the world. That's my feeling. Actually, as I said, it's totally audio and video thing for audible and visual. So I try my best to do a good presentation, good showmanship. That really matters, I guess.
Yeah, what's the experience like? What's the energy like when you do the live shows compared to a studio recording?
My God, I enjoy performing live way much better than a studio recording because I can do whatever I want. I can feel the song. I run all over the stage. I jump, I turn. That you cannot do in a studio. And you have to restrict yourself to the mic. I cannot sometimes pitch because you're confined to this small room and to a small area. But when I do live, I love it.
And I believe you because, you know why? I'm looking around at all the, CDs and DVDs you have. You have one stack of CDs and you have a host of concert DVDs.
More motivation came from there. I watch them. I see how these guys performing and try to, well, to a certain extent copy and add my own thing. Every artist is like that, He copies something from his inspiration, his mentor, and then you add something of your own and present it.
Inra, I'm going to add one more thing.
Yep.
Right now, of course, now in Sri Lanka, how do you feel, as an industry in general, live shows are being done? How do you feel they are being done as compared to the international ones that you have actually experienced?
Well, if you talk about the Western music field, cannot complain. But there's one thing that I see lacking in the Western music field still, is now you can see me, I like, this is my personal thing. I like to sing with a huge orchestra. I like to get that natural tone. Of course, the keyboards can do miracles today, but I like to get that natural tone. Therefore, I like to play with an orchestra, sing with an orchestra. But still in the Western music field in Sri Lanka, I don't see that much. Very seldom you can see. Well, apart from that, the presentation, the showmanship, the singing, everything is good. Everything is good.
Question. Do you feel nervous when you get on stage?
Of course, you don't. Not only me, I'm just a beginner. I'm still a kid when it comes to music. But Elvis once said he had performed over 1,100 shows. Even at his last concert, he said, I'm nervous, man. It's very natural.
What do you do when you get nerves? Different people have different coping mechanisms. I know some people just shut their eyes, just lock out everything else and just go into your zone. Some people just go out and have a walk. Some people are jumping up and down backstage. So when you work with all these artists, you see different people have different mannerisms backstage. What is your ritual before you get on stage? How do you calm yourself down?
I just think of these big artists, how they perform, and I try to get that state into myself.
So you go into zone of, this is my mentor, this is what he would have done, this is what Janaka is going to do today.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's the best coping mechanism I have thought of.
Wow. Yeah, I guess a lot of people have said this, right? If you don't get nervous, that's a problem as well. And you have to find that sweet spot where it's not a panic attack and it's not too much of nerves, right?
Something in between.
All right, and with that, before we continue on with that conversation, it's been pretty interesting for me and Indra. We have to head on for the next song of the day. It's going to be someone who we've had on, like Janaka.
You had him on the show.
Oh, yeah.
But I was taking a small break.
A little bit of a sabbatical. All right, Anil Balasuriya with The Boxer is coming your way next.
When you're tired, you got nowhere to go. You got no will to fight. You got no love to show. Oh, and you know you try to be real and tell them I'm here, but they wouldn't let you know. Oh, so you wait and you bleed till the world's at your feet. Still you feel that you left on your own. Then the crowd sang hallelujah, hallelujah. It's my time. And the voice sang hallelujah, hallelujah. It's my time to fight for me, to sing for me, to cry for me, to shine for me. You may not want this on your own. To sing for me, to fight for me, to die for me, to rise for me. You may not want this like before. Then the crowd sang hallelujah, hallelujah. It's my time. I'm away, I'm away, I'm away, I'm away, I'm away, I'm away, I'm away to you. I'm away, I'm away, I'm away, I'm away, I'm away, I'm away, I'm away to you.
All right, that was Anil Balasuriya with The Boxer. Very exciting song. And that's at song number 3 in our lineup. Both ways it's 3 right now. And with that, we'll move on and actually continue our conversation with Janaka. Janaka, a little bit while ago, I asked you about the music industry's live performances in Sri Lanka. Now, of course, before entering the music industry, you had a very thriving career. So you were outside the music industry, but I'm assuming you're very much interested on what's going on, right? So coming into it, what were your thoughts or conceptions beforehand that were maybe proven true or false upon entering the industry?
The very reason that I didn't sing for a long time, you asked quite late, 2014, because I thought in Sri Lanka, the only music as a career is a disaster. But then at the first concert in 2014, I said, if God has given me a talent, if I do not make use of it, if I just bury that, He'll question me one day. I gave you a talent, did you bury that? In fact, there's a parable like that in the good book. So I made use of it, and I'm making use of it. So He'll take me through. That's the answer I can give you.
We've got something right in front of you. Let's take a look at that in the camera. Can we pick that up, Janaka? What is the story there?
Well, this is the DVD that I'm working on these days. I'm going to release this in December or probably end of November. This is the concert that I had last year. A very successful concert, I guess, from the reviews I got. So everyone wanted me to release a DVD on this. So I'm working on the DVD these days. This is just a sample, and this will be available in the market from latest by December.
That's fantastic. That's really, really great news to hear. Janaka, just talking about a little bit about the industry and the opportunities that are available for you to get your music out there. So we have our show, and there's also, of course, there are the platforms that you can go put your music on. Do you see that these platforms are developing? Is it supporting the artists enough? Do you have enough people taking your music and showing it or throwing it away onto more people so that people can take a look at more of what the artist has in store?
Very importantly, I must say that this program that searching for, I mean, basically the
Locally produced English music.
and English music. This is something really unique. I think no other television channel does this. So hats off to Channel I. I must give my sincere appreciation about this program.
Do you have any other platforms that you can really go and do this also? We're trying to see where we could actually link up artists when they do their music. Do you have enough scope, enough opportunity? Well, we do provide one platform. There are others out there, but do enough artists get into this space? Do artists really get the opportunity to go talk, put their show out, put their music out?
There are lots of opportunities if you really analyze that, But I should say for English music in Sri Lanka, the scope is little, what should I say, little narrow or little limited. That's the very reason that I started doing some single songs also. But the opportunities are given these days. I mean, talent shows and lots of things are coming up. Well, if there's a way, if there's a will, there's a way. That's all I can tell you. There
The
are
opportunity is
opportunities.
present. It's just a matter of knowing where to look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, we are, of course, progressing down the lineup on our show. We're coming slowly to the top notch. Time for us now to go to number 2 on the lineup. This man is kept on the charts week on week. He goes up and down a little bit, but he's now at number 2. This is our good friend. Of course, he was on the show as well some time ago. We're now going into Asela Pereira with Design.
Don't think of all the things you could have been. Don't matter what they think you're in your skin. Yeah, 'cause I don't believe that you'd wreck your ship and sink into a fire or parody that the system's drawn itself in your design. Can't you see all your seams and all the lines I wish to find. There's order, in all beliefs that would define you, or is there just a puppet on a guided string? Sentiments of their hours is wrong, hollow twist in the words of the song. Dotted line that we all walk along, fragile design of a mind on our own. And I don't believe that you'd wreck your ship and sink into a fire, a parody that the system's drawn itself in your design. Can't you see all your seams and all the lines that which define your attitude? A season full of reason. You write your choices, made with beating hearts and voices of a compass. Yeah, your conscience. I don't believe that you'd wreck your ship and sink into a fire, a parody that the system's drawn itself in your design. Can't you see all your seams and all the lines that which they
All right, that was our sailor with design on the show on the Local Hunt chart. You have been keeping him consistently on the lineup. We might have a new addition coming onto the show because we have a bonus track which is going to come at the end of the show as well today. And we are still in conversation, of course, with Janaka. We were just about to ask him where he's headed to next because we hear there's a story of overseas coming for a show.
Yes, Shinura. In fact, I've been busy doing many concerts overseas, and you just came just a month ago from a long US tour. And my next tour is again to Australia and USA again, of course, to different states, not the same states that I performed last year and year before. Australia would be the same because this year I didn't perform in Australia. Last year I did. So it'll be Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and Canberra.
So, how is the reception when you go to a foreign show? How is the adaptability to the band you're performing with, and of course the crowd? I guess a lot of people want to come face to face and meet you personally as well after the show.
Yes, Win, it's a very, very nice experience, and you feel, I don't know, I feel really content when I meet with these guys from Sri Lanka there, and of course even the locals come to my show. It's total hospitality, and it's always, I feel, a warm embrace in them.
And those organizers, I believe, of course, put on a great effort to attract the talents, and it's to entertain and actually gather the community of those countries. So do you feel that sense of community on foreign land?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Sense of-
And also, it's always a challenge when I perform in different cities, in different countries. Unlike certain Sri Lankan bands and Sri Lankan individual artists, they go with their own team. But in my case, I always perform with a new and a different band. So that's, in a way, it's very exciting meeting new people. But sometimes it's really difficult because it's something new. Even the band, the understanding, the chemistry, sometimes it doesn't work. So things at times hard, things at times very interesting.
So is it usually a foreign outfit that you play with, or is it Sri Lankans who live in that country, or do you, once you start the tour, is it the same band who keeps through, or do you have different bands in every city?
Different bands. From state to state, it's a different band.
Wow, that's amazing.
And sometimes it's a Sri Lankan band living overseas. Sometimes it's a local white band. Very exciting.
And when you perform with the Americans or Australians who are playing in the band, what's their take on the show? How do they communicate, and what's their response been?
Those guys are very nice, and they respect and they give honor to the deserving talent. That's what I should say, I guess. They treat me nice, they support me, they receive me well. There are no conflicts whatsoever.
And of course, I believe, so this is the show that's on the DVD, is the one that you're going to be performing overseas as well, right?
Well, no, this is with a full orchestra. This is with Dinesh Subasingha's orchestra. In Sri Lanka also I've done a few concerts, rather 3 big concerts with 3 different musicians. One with Harsha Makaland, the one with Suresh Malyad, and the third with Dinesh Subasingha. So I think I'm in the mood of changing orchestras to music directors, because that's what I've been used to wherever I travel. So every time I take a new challenge of working with a new music director.
All right, so every single time is a new challenge, every city is a new band. Man, you are living the life.
Let's get back to the classic days. Let's sing by the seashores and country lanes. Moonlight, my heart's desire. Please turn off the street lights. Let's get back to the classic days.
This is one of the songs that I'll be joyfully releasing very soon. Written by Sudat Manna Peruma and music directed by Manjula Banda.
All right, we are going to number 1 on the lineup. What is this song going to be?
And it's going to be At Crossroads with Spike.
Yeah. What up, y'all? Crossroads. Yeah. This is all about life. Spike. Realize. Spike Universe Records. No matter how many times you fall down, you gotta rise up again. Yeah. This life is a question where answers are hidden. It's hard to find a destiny. Sometimes in a sudden, you feel like failing. Inside your thoughts are forbidden. Time's up, don't give up, tighten up the buttons. Down for his heart, cause that's how the story ends. Can't you find a place where that's a true friend? Life is a miracle, it's hard to understand. Keep fighting for yourself, keep praying till the end. All you need is a smile when everything's beside. Always be a part of it, don't ever deny what you lose or what you left behind. Life is full of crossroads, step forward, you gotta be strong to make it alright. You can't go on if you let down tired. Be an independent, don't stop by the dead end. Nothing's impossible, keep trusting you. Do you know how hard life can be? It's not the way that you always see. You got to face the true reality, which is always so hard to believe. Sometimes in your life, turn back and see all the good you did and the you've been. Life ain't always a fairy tale. You will realize that you can fail. All the memories that lies in you, make them what you trust in you. When you get to know the truth, always believe that there's a lie hidden beneath. Don't make life so complicated. Try to understand why and what's so isolated. It ain't just a simple XY theory. Don't ever dream of a night trick fairy. Don't ever forget people who back you up, whoever helped you when you were. Make some love, start mutation your own way. Don't ever let your dreams fall down and fade away. Feelings that run through your mind, got to be with it if you wanna survive. Another thing that always fall on you. Don't let it break yourself and stand on you. Do you know how hard life can be? It's not the way that you always see. You got to face the true reality, which is always so hard to believe. Yeah, crossroads, spike, you was right. Flashback. All you haters make me stronger. Yeah. Ain't nothing's gonna put me down. I'ma do what I'm meant to do. Feel me? This is my game, my life. I'm what I am. Yeah. Dream big, rush love.
That was Spike with Crossroads, a guy who has been here. He actually came on our show and chatted with us about his music, his thoughts on the industry, and of course his originals. The big guy wasn't there. He was taking a couple of days off. But of course, he has been there and chatted with you a couple of times. And Inura, I believe you have a question.
Yep, we spoke of originals last time we met. You told us they're out now, and we're about to show everybody one more of them. Tell us the story behind this one.
Yes, Inura, there are two songs that one you will see soon after this discussion. That is the song that I did with an Australian, Terry Morris, and this is the visual is done. Well, another coincidence. You asked about how I work with musicians and band. This I recorded in Melbourne at a bandmate's house. So me and my wife were there, and we just recorded this song. This song is titled "Don't Tell Me It's Over," and I did this with my wife. And the other song that I'm doing these days is written by Sudat Marna Peruma and Nadika Guruge, and that's about Sigiriya. That also will be released very, very soon.
All right, we are, I think, ready to release an original on the show.
Yep. And we're going to be checking out this song, and we hopefully, it'll actually capture your hearts and maybe feature on our charts as well.
Perfect. And we are going to also say a very big thank you for Janaka, for number one, inviting us home, making us feel very, very at home and at ease. Also, for, of course, giving us this beautiful track so that we can put it up on the show as a bonus track. You can probably see this on the lineup on the chart if you vote in for this song. Tell us what you would like to do with Janaka's song, brand new on the chart this week as we speak on the show tonight. Thank you, Janaka. Been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Inura. Thank you very much, Ubin, the entire crew. You are very most welcome to my house. That's my pleasure to have you here. And all you guys, thank you very much. My sincere appreciation and thanks to the producer, Achala, Rush, and Mrs. Sunanda Hetiarachi, and the entire Channel I team.
And with that, we have to wind up today's edition of Local Hunt as well. Thanks for joining us. And of course, you guys can actually vote for all the songs in our lineup by going on our socials. Facebook, it's iLocal Hunt. Instagram, it's Local Hunt Chart. And of course, you can check out all our episodes on channeli.lk. And we have to say bye-bye.
Bye-bye on the Local Hunt once again.